Hello, Bashar. I have some questions for you, Bashar. Um, so, number one, you are Sathani, right? Now, you say in your ancient language of Sathani, you guys, your race is only 300 years old. Because you guys are being created by us now, by the abductions happening now. And if you're 300 years in the future, that means that you're only 300 years old. So why would you say the ancient language of Sathani? And how you used to speak with your mouth, and now you speak telepathically. Does that mean that the hybrids you're making now are going to speak with their mouths as they interact with us humans? Or that when you mean your ancient language, it was actually before you even started breeding with humans and you were still gray aliens, and it was the language you actually spoke to each other when you were still speaking under the surface of your planet or something. And also you said thank you great grandmother, like 7 greats. Now, if the women who are living nowadays are your great grandmother, that would be more than 300 years. That would be like 500 or 600 years in the future. So, especially now how people are having babies older. So, are you 300 years from our future? Only you, the people who you did genetic engineering with, actually wasn't this Earth, but an Earth that would happen a lot long before our Earth, and that's why you say great grand, and because your ancient language. So that's one question. Now the other question, one other question, is oh man, I totally lost my train of thought. So I'll go to the third question, and maybe I'll remember the second question. I remember in one interview a guy was asking you about the Annunaki, and you said the Annunaki were 7 to 8 feet tall, blue-skinned, and they created us. Well, and the guy forgot to ask, and I was hoping he was going to, but he didn't. Where are the Anunnaki now? Because I have read some books that say that the Anunnaki right now are actually excluded from the Earth. When and maybe because the Earth is in a quarantine now, and the main purpose of that quarantine was to keep the Anunnaki away from us, because they were the ones who manipulated our DNA to put fear into us, and so even though they made us, that they kind of and also this book said, I can't remember what it was, maybe it was the planes who said it, that the Anunnaki are not going to ascend into the 5th dimension. They're going to stay in the 4th dimension, and they're actually spiritually behind us. And that makes sense if you look at all the ancient Greek legends. The Greek gods were pretty jealous and selfish, and they weren't so nice to us humans. Like if somebody caught Athena getting out of taking a bath in a lake naked, she'd just kill the guy. So they were kind of, and then also the stories from the Sumerian tablets, Enlil and Enki, those guys wanted to try and wipe out all of humanity and all this kind of stuff. So is that why we just don't sit? So, is it true that they're not going to be allowed to come to the Earth and to partake in disclosure and to visit us, and that they just have to stay on their own planet and in the third dimension? And that's one question. The other question is, where is their planet? Are they on the planet X that comes by every 3,000 years? And it's true that they mined for gold and had to put gold on their planet, and their planet. So if that's true, is their planet going to come back here into our orbit pretty soon? What planet do they live in? Do they live in the planet that destroyed Maldek? So what's the deal with the Anunnaki? That's one question. Now, my second question a two-part question. One was, oh yeah, the living ships. I had a question about the living ships. The souls that inhabit the living ships. You said they will. You said once we make our computers powerful enough, we will then discover that we're actually communicating with our higher selves. Now, does that mean that we are our higher self? So we're not, so normal human souls aren't going to reincarnate into these ships, but actually, or supercomputers, or ships, but actually higher souls, more developed than us, as our Earth is our mother. Maybe our Earth is infused with a higher, more advanced soul, and in that case, perhaps these ships will be infused with a higher, more advanced soul. Now, if it is with a higher, more advanced soul, where did the soul live before? Was it a human that just got old soul, and then it graduated into like the next level, and then you get to be a ship and act as kind of mother ship to all of your children beings, kind of like. And if that's the truth, does that mean that all of our cells are actually alive with their own individual souls that will once be humans? You're a soul, you're a cell, and then you graduate from a cell into a fish, to a monkey, to a human. Is that how it works? And also, along what lines are trees? Do trees one day become human, or do they reincarnate along another line of life? And so the ships, if the ships are our higher self, are they like our oversoul? Is it like a soul that is it is a conglomeration of all of the Earth humans? Say there's 1,000 people living on a spaceship. Is the spaceship a collective, the soul of the spaceship, merely a collection of the souls living on that spaceship, which then gains its own soul? And if it's a collection of all, if it's a sum of all the souls on the ship, is it also like more than that, and also like I have trouble understanding if it could be a collection of all the souls on the ship, how it could not be also its own soul that is a unit, that when it dies it'll go by itself and it won't take all the little souls with it from the individuals on the ship, and it'll go and reincarnate in another ship? Or is it just kind of hard to imagine how all of these souls connected can be one soul? So anyways, that was basically my questions to you, Bashar. And maybe even if you could, I would like it if you could tell us the story of your planet, exactly how your planet was destroyed. What was the last straw that killed your planet? How long did it take you to destroy your planet after you hit the Industrial Revolution? Did you have a nuclear war, or was it too much pollution from shooting rocks up in the sky, or from aerosols, or from too many cars? I'd like to hear that story. So, what do you say, Bashar? Oh, and I had another question. You guys were greys that destroyed your planet and then melded with humans. So now, the race that you are now, the Sethani, do you still suffer from bad karma from what you carried over from when you were the gray aliens? Or are you completely cleansed of that? And I would guess the latter. So, thank you.